Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ball Don't Lie NBA Finals. Is this on? Is this thing on? Welcome to the Ball Don't Lie NBA Finals post game show. It is finally fucking over. I know my co-host here extremely happy.
It is 11:56 in Atlanta, Georgia right now, and we are doing this for the final time. Let's
For the
get it.
final time, we want to thank everybody who's been listening because y'all up here. I had people text me like when y'all going live, so I know y'all expecting to see this shit. But we here. We're here. The Golden State Warriors, for the fourth time in the last 8 years, are the NBA champions with a 103-90 win over the Boston Celtics. Stephen Curry leads the way with 34 points, and he is your Bill Russell, 2022 NBA Finals MVP. Now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, basketball talk and shit. But before that, as a high ranking member of the LSS, the Light Skin Society, uh, our chairman Wardell and our other co-chairman Aubrey Graham is putting out an album in approximately 3 minutes. So it's a good night for the organization. We are here to expel one Jason Tatum, and we are replacing him with Jordan Poole. Now, there's some of y'all out here like he's a little too dark. He's a little darker. He's like caramel shade. It's under review, but he has made the cut. I just want to say this as a Steph Curry fan, as a diehard day one Steph Curry fan. I haven't been this happy for a non-Bulls player since Kobe Bryant in 2010. Because when Kobe got Shaq traded, because that's the reality of what happened. I know we like to have revisionist history about this shit later, but let's just keep it a buck. When Kobe got Shaq traded, everybody's, oh, he can't do it without Shaq. Shaq won a ring without Miami. What's Kobe going to do? Kobe made it to the finals without Shaq and got smacked up by the Celtics in 2008. 2009, they won, but the whole little narrative was, oh, he only won because Kevin Garnett got hurt. They wouldn't have beat the Celtics.
Yeah,
Da,
because
da, 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 da.
Kendrick Perkins tore his
Yeah.
ACL or
I don't want
whatever.
to hear about Kendrick fucking Perkins. Like KG, you can sell me on. Kendrick Perkins, no. Carried on, as he likes to say. And then in 2010, they went out there and did what Lakers are supposed to do, beat the fucking Celtics, won a championship, and that solidified Kobe to where you couldn't talk about him no more. And we come here to Steph. And, you said this before we got on, like, there's really nothing to question about it. And I'm with you. I've been in that camp of you can't say nothing about this dude even before this. 3 NBA championships with two finals, with two MVPs. What is there to fucking talk about? And especially with beating LeBron 3 times for all 3 of his rings. Like, a normal, sane person would be like, there's nothing to say. But there was always 2015, well, you know, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love are hurt. And then in 2016, they got beat by a healthy Cavs team. And then 2017-18, well, they stacked the deck by signing Kevin Durant. And then, then the last couple years, how can we forget? The Warriors dynasty's dead. They're not coming back. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Silly.
And now, fourth NBA championship in 8 years, which is the most since our beloved 90s Bulls. They are now 4-2 in the finals. And he has his MVP. Finally, an impressive final. Even in this game, they were up 22 points. They did their best to try to trick this game off. It's like Steph hit the little sleeper three like in the third quarter, and they went up 22, and they just started playing like idiots like they do a lot. And he kept making clutch basket after clutch basket, getting to the hole. Why they kept putting Al Horford on him, I will never fucking know. But they kept
their ass to death.
Worked his ass, and he kept getting baskets. And he was playing defense tonight. Just overall great. And now, and I said this on I'm Not Gonna Hold You today. There's levels to Hall of Fame, as Deion Sanders likes to say. There's a Hall of Fame, but there's rooms and different floors in the Hall of Fame. Jordan has his own floor. LeBron and Kareem share a floor together. And then you've got the other niggas in the top 10. Steph, to me, entered the NBA all-time top 10 today. And who's coming out? Like I said on I'm Not Gonna Hold You today. Wilt Chamberlain, bring your punk ass to the stage. You are exiting the stage left. Wardell is entering. And for those of you who want to know who my top 10 was, and I will give it to you in no particular order we're the top 3 in order. Mike is number 1 to me. Kareem number 2, LeBron number 3. The rest of us is in whatever order, but I got Kobe, I got Duncan, I got Magic, I got Bird, I got Steph now, I've got Bill Russell, and I've got Shaq. Those are my top 10 of all time. And congratulations to Steph. Congratulations to Warriors. Klay Thompson is going to be an interesting conversation in about a year or two with that contract. He was selling to a different level today, but appreciate greatness. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing people, you appreciate greatness. Remember, we always say that when LeBron made the finals, appreciate greatness. Well, it's time for you niggas to eat your own words now. Appreciate greatness. Well, there's nothing else you can say about Steph Curry. And that's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, bro. This is, for all this, for any of the idiots that were still out there talking about his legacy, what he needed to do to solidify it. He did it tonight. He answered every question, checked every box, and I'm with you, bro. In a closeout game, 34.7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Like you said, he only had 2 turnovers. So, we saw Steph play on some of his best basketball, and it's crazy for as terrible as Draymond first game was in this series. In the closeout game, Draymond shoots 50%, goes 12 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Like he, a complete 180 from what he did in game 1. And that was classic Draymond tonight, bro. Like that was some of the best basketball you've seen him play all season and in every aspect of the game. And so, he was facilitating for the guys, getting them involved early. He just making baskets easier for them, defending, doing his thing, getting in people's. I think you saw Al Horford do the little flex.
And
it was over after that. It was over after that. We saw Draymond, bro. First of all, he did the flex. Draymond came down here like a 20-foot jump. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a wrap. They could do their little run or whatever, but they were not about to lose this game.
My favorite back and forth during the game was when he hit his first 3, and I think Mark Jackson's like, he's feeling it. And Jeff Van Gundy's like, you can't say you're feeling it when you made 1-3 the whole series. And then when he hit that 20-footer, he told the crowd to shut up. He said, well, now you can say he's feeling it.
Right, exactly. And no, bro. And shout out to Jordan Poole, because Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins were the first 2 Warriors to get into double figures today. Yep. They really helped start the game off. And Wiggins, bro, you gotta tip your cap to bro. After everything that's been said about this man,
great story.
Not only was he getting timely buckets for them, but he was defending his ass off. Because as much as we shitting on Jason Tatum, who did play terrible, Andrew Wiggins was on his ass every single game, every play.
That man, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, locked him up. Like today, that shit was pitiful. Like it was ugly out there tonight for Jason Tatum. So you definitely got to tip your cap to A. Wiggins. And so now you look, like you said, you look at this roster. But as much as we say, well, what are they going to do here? What do they do there? As we've seen, the Warriors find a way. They figure stuff out. So whether and you still got Wiseman, who is either an asset or a trade piece. Well, he's an asset either way, I should say. Well, if you bring him to the squad or trade him away, try to get like a Bradley Beal, somebody like that. You never know. So
you trying to do light skin overload over here.
I mean, you got to think the possibilities are really endless when you
Bradley Beal is on a one-way plane ride to Miami as we speak. That's just
he's definitely trying to make that happen. They definitely trying to make that happen. But when you got those type of owners who, like you said, are willing to think outside the box, they don't mind paying the tax because they got the bread to do it. And so the possibilities are really endless for the Warriors.
Yeah, and it's just like, shout out to Draymond, who cut the Rock level style promo. He said, welcome back to the Warriors Invitation. Which I love. By the way, I can't wait till this podcast uploads, nigga. That's going to be classic.
He's going to be drunk, smoke like 6 cigars, so he's going to act a fool.
That's going to be fucking classic, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just good. It feels good. And, I'm not going to get my full LeBron Steph troll back tonight, but listen to me very clearly. It's coming. It's coming. I'm going. It's coming. I got some takes. I got some takes for y'all. I'm not going to drop them tonight, but I got some takes that we're going to have to address. But let's talk about the fucking Boston Celtics, nigga. This is like, I woke up this morning and I was like, this just feels like that the Warriors going to close it. I just had a feeling because everybody just automatically assumed the Celtics was going to win tonight. Like, all throughout media, Jalen Rose said, well, I left my suit in the Bay Area. Well, nigga, you better go pick it up because it's just going to be sitting there. And to watch everybody on every show I watched today, Celtics. Matter of fact, on the post game, clean sweep.
Yep.
Jalen Celtics. Wilbon's. By the way, Wilbon, I gotta say this about Wilbon, man. Yo, the old head shit, like he be on some. We talk about Mad Dog old head. He be on the same boat. They asked him today, like, does this solidify the dynasty? He said, "Well, you're grading on a curve. They're not really a dynasty. You gotta win five." And then he went to other sports too. They're doing the same thing with the Lightning. He's not like Mario Lemieux. Nigga, when did Mario Lemieux win 3 cups? Like, and then there's a
Yeah.
three-peat isn't a dynasty? Like, what are we talking about? He just went to a whole little old head bag. But I just felt like usually when everybody picks a certain team, they're gonna fucking lose. And I just felt that the Warriors knew what was if I know they don't want the game seven, I'm sure they do. You know, if there was a game seven on Sunday, that would have been the same day as game seven against the Cavs. Game seven against the Cavs was June 19, 2016.
Yeah.
They didn't want to hear that nonsense for 72 hours because you noticed what the media was gonna say.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that off the strip that LeBron wasn't playing for the Boston Celtics. Like, it's one thing.
You know,
like,
the narrative.
Like, it's one thing they're gonna talk, but I really think, like, even if it went to 7, like, whatever the closeout game was, Boston was getting blown the fuck out. I felt this, and we talked about this earlier. It was like, they knew what this was, what this moment meant, and like when you saw this game, even when the way it started, you know, they withstood what basically was the Celtics' best punch. You feel me? And they went on a hold on, I had a gang of notes for this joint. They went on a 52-25 run to close the half, bro. So like, Golden State really took off on Boston, and they never recovered from that. And you know, the one thing you said, because we got to talk about the Celtics, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is the best player on that basketball team. Like, let's be clear about that. I know we get caught up in these moments and we want to crown people here and there, but I think Jaylen Brown consistently has shown you when he's healthy, when he's dialed in. He is the best player on that team tonight. He had 34 points. He had 7 rebounds, 3 assists. And you know, basically everything we wanted from Tatum, we did not get that. Like we did not get that. Robert Williams, you got to tip your cap to him. He was out there all over the place on the defensive side of the ball. And but for what had really plagued them all series, you just didn't get enough from number 2 of your 1 and 2. Like we said this in the previous post-game show. It's like you need Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum to have great games for them to push this to 7. And you got 1 out of the 2.
And also, the more I look at it, my Warriors and 5 prediction would have been spot on if these niggas ain't jag game 1. I'm kind of mad about that because I wanted to be right, but it doesn't matter. And the fucked up thing for the Celtics, this is the thing that we hear about every young team that loses. Well, they'll be back. They're Jason Tatum, Swivel. Nigga, Giannis gets fucking Chris Middleton back next year.
Okay? Y'all told me the Indiana Pacers was gonna be a problem.
Oh, I remember that.
We always do this. There's always they'll be back. No, windows are not open like we always say, especially if you don't have the guy. Like prime example, like with LeBron, he kept going back because LeBron is that dude. Steph is that guy.
Yeah, but LeBron was going back with other teams too. Like,
but no, he's that because he's LeBron. Like,
no, I'm just saying, I'm talking about his team, not just with talent. Like,
LeBron yeah.
was going around for different teams, taking it to like LeBron is like Tom Brady. They're both systems.
Yeah, he is the talent. You feel me?
Yeah, and it's like Middleton. Giannis gets Middleton back next year. So is that? And what have I've been saying for weeks? Since the problem with this offense is just god awful, bro. Like, and that was what I kept saying. It's what you were saying too. When we was coming to the series, the offense fucking stinks, bro. You can get away with this shit against the Miami Heat. You can get away with this shit against the Bucks without Chris Middleton. These motherfuckers had 22 turnovers. Followed up an 18-point turnover game in Game 5 with 22 in a closeout game. I mean, at a game with your season on the line at home, bro. Like, what are you doing? And that's all because they don't have a traditional point guard. I like Marcus Smart. I like Marcus Smart a lot. He's not a point guard. And even defensively, Marcus Smart was getting away with murder this series. He's the defensive player of the year. I didn't feel his impact this series. Like what I saw from Draymond Green. Now, Draymond had a very rough 3 games and 3.5 quarters. The last 3 minutes of Game 4 up until tonight, he has been brilliant. What we saw tonight from Draymond was Draymond Green masterclass. When Draymond Green gets into the Hall of Fame, you play this fucking game for them. This is the type of game you should get for him. And you bring up Jordan Poole and Wiggins. And this is why I said, I'm not going to hold you there. I said this is going to be the game where everybody steps up. And outside of Clay did his best to try to fuck this up. He did his best to try to fuck this up. Like Steve Kerr better than me. I know Steve Kerr was like, we got to roll him. He's one of our guys. The guy that said that nigga would have been on the bench.
Yeah, that's the only prediction I missed on was Game 6 Clay. Bro was fucking 5 of 20, bro. I mean,
I had a feeling that was gonna happen because they kept talking about it. Like Game 6 Clay, usually people don't talk about it, but it's all I heard for 72 hours. And I was just like, he gonna fuck up somehow. And even I think in his head, that's why he was taking them bullshit shots. Like, oh, this is gonna go in. But Poole and Wiggins were key because the Celtics came out on fire. They was up 14-4 at the beginning of the game. I was like, this is the start I expected. And these two came in and they gave them the spark and the energy they needed. Wiggins, a very underrated shot for Wiggins today was when the Celtics cut the lead down to 8 with like 5 minutes left. He comes down, hits a 3, and that's game right there. Yeah, and that was just big. And he defensively, I mean, boy, he had motherfucking Jason Tatum on Alcatraz. Like, it was fucking ridiculous. Like, everywhere he couldn't have nowhere to go. Tatum went to the basket, and he was just losing control. Overall, great defensive effort.
Man, bro. And like you guys said, when you look at the Warriors, they actually had, we always talked about Clay defensively, still not being old Clay yet. But you still have, like you said, Wiggins, he stepped up. You had Gary Payton II, who played really well today, you know what I'm saying, in his return. And like you said, you really got to tip your cap to the Warriors, bro.
Yeah.
Like you really have to. Like you said, 4 titles in 6 years now?
4 and 8.
4 and 8 years. They've been to how many finals? 6?
6. 4 and 2 in the finals now. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's been insane.
And this is also another criticism. Like, they did it without Kevin Durant. They did it without Kevin Durant.
See, I ain't want to say that just off the strength that
we got to keep it a buck. They did it without KD.
Cause we talk about situations that are different. They did do it without KD, but we can elevate them without bringing KD down. I say
what
that.
Fun is that? Honestly, what fun is that? What fun is? You're right.
Right. You say like it's dope. It's further proof for anybody who was like, oh, they needed KD. It's like, well, not necessarily. They needed KD to beat Bron, but they didn't need KD to be a championship team. They were already
that's where a lot of people thought. Like, this is why the KD, and I love KD still. KD is one of my favorite players. This is not KD slander. I'm just telling you, is it Uchiwali or is it one Mike? And really, when I'm talking to people, I'm talking to LeBron stands. This has nothing to do with LeBron himself, okay? Like, 99% of my problem ain't with LeBron. It's with his fucking fan base. I'm talking to them. LeBron is cool, probably drinking in the Maldives somewhere, enjoying him being a fucking billionaire, and he's set. So I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about his crazy-ass fan base. So this is, which one is it going to be? Now, remember, we have some, they needed KD to beat LeBron. I agree, 100%. I don't think that team was going to, I believe the 2017 Cavs team was better than the team that won the championship. So I believe they did need KD to beat them in 2017 and 2018. But then when it comes to Slender and Steph, he need KD. Which fucking one is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one is it? Like, and so they like to switch it up. So this is another one that you can cross off the narrative checkbook. He won 2 without KD. He got 2 with KD, 2 without KD. Fuck you gonna say now?
Yeah, I mean that it was always a silly narrative, but now it just looks even funnier in the light.
It's dumb.
It just looks even funnier in the light now because it's like, but it goes back to like what we always say, and we've been saying this basically for like a year and a half now in the pod. Like, all of the comparisons are kind of dumb when you really look at it, and like especially because we're still in the middle of these guys playing. Like, now I understand everybody the need for content, and you guys have shit to talk about, but like we won't really be able to assess these guys' legacies until it's career, right? Until it's over. Like, once it's said and done, the whole story is written. That's why even with LeBron, like, people want to say
we don't know if LeBron's gonna win anymore. We don't know if Steph's gonna win.
Anymore. We don't know. You legit.
I got a good hunch, but we don't know.
Of course, you got a feeling.
I got a hunch, but we don't know for sure.
We all feel things, my nigga. Like, what
you know what I'm saying? But as far as the Warriors, man, this to me takes them into the dynasty talk of, who you can compare them to teams now. Now, where you rank them is whoever with your, I don't know where I rank them yet. This is, it don't really matter. It don't really matter because I know who's number one.
That's why I kind of agree with Wilbon because it's like I needed like a three-peat or something for me to really, really put you in like the greatest of the
Yeah, but
great.
he didn't
But
even
I
say
put
three
them
P though. He said five. Like
out, so I'll put them above the. In my opinion, even though even though the Spurs got one more ring, I will put the Warriors above the Spurs.
the Warriors, fuck. I keep telling this. The Spurs are not a dynasty. They have. You talking about three P? They ain't even repeated. You got to
Yeah,
repeat. Like you got to repeat.
yeah, but
Like
you tip your cap to the longevity of the Spurs and
yeah.
how you know how they did it, but no,
If you want to go or you have to three P, I'm fine with that. That's not how I agree, but I'm fine with that. That means we only got that means the only dynasties then is the '60s Celtics, the '90s Bulls, and the Kobe and Shaq Lakers, and that's why we're gonna go off, because then we got to take Showtime Lakers out then if we doing three peats, because Magic didn't three peat, you know.
yeah,
Fucking Mike did it twice. You know what's nuts about Phil Jackson? This is why I get mad when people put Pop over him. The nigga three peated three times.
yeah,
Like three times.
that's
Like
elite. That's
and had
elite
a
shit, man.
chance to do it four times. You know what I'm saying? Like we forget, like 2011 Lakers, they had a
Yeah,
chance. Now they got washed by Dallas. You remember Bynum body slam JJ Barea, but
yeah.
they still had a chance to win. So he won three, had a chance to win four. Like he's the greatest coach of all time. But I have no problem with the 3P thing. You can do that, but they're in a discussion now. And I think that's really what they wanted to do. And this to me is now, I feel like they're gonna play with house money from here on out. There's nothing else for Steph to prove and for this Warriors team to prove. To me, and now is just see what else they can do.
No, absolutely. Like I said, bro, you got trade pieces. You got ownership group with a pocket full of money that's willing to spend. So like you said, the sky's really the limit, and it's it's probably annoying for the rest of the league because everybody's like, oh man, we can finally breathe a
People
little
don't
bit. The
like
Warriors ain't been
greatness,
here,
bro.
yeah, but like
People, it's like with any success story. This is gonna happen with us in barbershop, right? We're
yeah,
the people's champions right now. Now let these niggas see me. Once niggas see me sitting courtside next to Jack and Hove, niggas ain't gonna like me no more. Niggas gonna like Scott been sold out. This nigga can't come to Chicago no more.
and
I ain't gonna care because I'm just not gonna move it. Like people want to see you win, but just not too much. And that's what
yeah,
it is with the Warriors, with any team.
yeah. But I mean, this is just like America, bro. Like the people who got the most money spend the money and they reap the benefits. And like
Yeah.
that's what's happening in sports right now. Like all of
Yep.
these ownership groups who actually spend the money and recognize the fact that if I spend and I win, I can spend more because I'm gonna make more.
And
Like it's that fucking simple. Like
that's
it's
what
really it's
I've
become
been.
that simple.
And it's been that simple. And this
Yeah.
is me as a meathead fan. I've been screaming like, "Hey!" And it's true though. People say, "Well, a lot of owners don't care about winning," which is true. They don't. But it never made sense to me because I'm like, you do know if you win, you make more money,
Yeah.
more playoff revenue. These little championship shirts and hats. And by the way, bravo to the NBA. Them hats look cold. Sometimes the hats be looking trash, but the hats look good. This merchandise is finna fly off the fucking racks. That's more
Oh,
fucking money for your franchise. That type of shit don't
easy
make no
money.
sense to me. Easy fucking money. You win and you make more money. So that I never got, but you're right. And it's just wrapping this up because we'll do a full breakdown on the season finale. Thank God it's the season finale of Ball Don't Lie. I counted today, bro. We have done after this next episode. We've done with 30 episodes.
Yeah.
Episodes. That's not including these post game shows. So we're gonna wrap the series up, recap the season. That should drop Tuesday for y'all. But just a quick few words as we wrap this up. What's your thoughts on this NBA season in total?
In total, like I said, the season was up and down. A lot of the injuries were disappointing, and but them, just still the condensed schedule. And I think we said this was year three of the all the nut shit and the back to back to backs and all of that. And so now to see them kind of finally be officially on the old schedule again,
Yeah,
let's see how that plays out. And so, like,
yeah,
hopefully, we have less injuries. But I think that's also just the fact that players are playing so much these days, and
yeah,
they've been hooping for so long that we get that. So, but we'll see how that changes because now we're officially back on the old schedule. But I
yeah.
think overall it was a decent season. Like I said, outside of the injuries, that was disappointing. But on all of anybody talking about shortening the season, I'm with Richard Jefferson on that. That's just silly.
Absolutely not.
Like
Absolutely not.
that makes no sense. And first of all, the TV contracts won't allow that.
Yeah, that too. Like, right, that
That's
too.
not gonna happen. You can forget about that.
Uh, Go ahead. Yes or no,
No,
sir?
that's it. Go ahead.
Uh, I thought it was a pretty entertaining series for what it is, season for what it is. I always say the NBA regular season is the most I won't say pointless because the first 81 games of Major League Baseball are pretty fucking pointless. But it's not like the NFL, obviously. What is there's not a lot of marquee matchups. The Christmas games were kind of ass, if I remember, but overall, I thought it was an entertaining season. This felt like a long ass season to me because one, we were back on regular schedule. Two, this is my first season actually covering the league, so this is the first time I'm in the arenas, watching this shit hand in hand, doing a lot of podcasts, being guest of the podcast. So this is my first official year as a member of the NBA media, so it's a little different, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm glad and also the Bulls being good also helped my NBA enjoyment because my team wasn't hot ass this year.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was a cool season. It's good to see the champs, the Warriors back on top. And the good thing, but the NBA is a 24/7 league. So the Warriors gonna have this next week when we're talking about them, the NFL draft, NBA, but the NBA draft is next Thursday?
Yeah,
Next
next
Wednesday or
Thursday.
Thursday. Next Wednesday or Thursday, and the new season begins. And then we're all on AK watch if you're a Bulls fan. And guess what? This is the thing. The Warriors are champion, but I guarantee you within a week, they'll be talking about, well, Vegas says Brooklyn and the Lakers are favorites for next year. You know how it goes. And it's going to be
Do
right
something
back,
silly.
as the world turns, man. But thank you to everybody who was tuned in to watch all 6 of our episodes, man. We appreciate y'all. And even people who missed it, I see a lot of people been watching, who've listened to our audio. We've been getting a lot of listeners on the audio, so we appreciate y'all. And either way that you've been consuming this show, we appreciate y'all for listening to Ball Don't Lie. We got one more episode for y'all to recap this season. We appreciate everybody, man. So shout out to everybody who has been down with us this season. And weekend is here. Y'all have a good Juneteenth weekend. To all the fathers out there, my father, everybody's father out there who are actually in your life. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up that I gotta say that shit, but you know how niggas are. To the niggas who actually in their kids' lives, salute to y'all, salute to my dad, salute to all the fathers I know. And also we have a happy birthday. My nigga, one of my day one homies and my H&B media producer, my man Thomas Price. He will be 32. I think Tom's gonna be 32 tomorrow. 32 tomorrow. Happy birthday, my dog. I will be pouring up when we get up tomorrow. So shout out to everybody out there. It's late on the East Coast, but it's early out here. So we'll holler at y'all.